You damn player haters never wanna see me blow. Flamboyant entertainment, CEO. Yo, the spotlight is mine, it ain't his no more. When Lee come home, niggas can't.
What y'all watching? What we got on y'all? What's going on, everybody? It is Aquarian OG, and you should get to know me. Yo, we got a video today. 10 most bizarre creatures found in Antarctica. I know there's been all this talk about the new ocean and blah, blah, blah. Ain't no such damn thing as no new ocean. That's just one they ain't told you about. We've been knowing about that ocean. That's been in the early textbooks. I don't know what they doing. Trying to rename it. I don't even understand why they calling it new. Like we ain't seen all the... They added something to the hologram. Nah, I ain't even gonna get started on that. But, yeah. I'm kind of curious to see what the hell is going on down in Antarctica. I ain't never been there. It's too cold for my black ass to go down there. Man. But I do like to look. Shout out to Origins Explained for the videos. Because I know we didn't watch a couple of their videos. So shout out to Origins Explained. Get them a little hit. Yeah, give me some HBO, help a brother out. I'm trying to grow this channel as well. I'll take that sub and that like, thank you. It's free for me. Yo. And yeah. Let's get this growth spurt going on. Let's get some videos liked and get some subs made so I can get to, because you know in the beginning part they look at the metrics. I mean, when you get like in the millions and millions and millions, then the metrics become less of a thing for you, but right now, I'm small. I need to grow. So, let's get this video on the way. 10 most bizarre creatures found in Antarctica with Aquarian OG. Roll them.
Fish with enormous eyes to a mysterious monster that prowls the ice. Here are 10 of the weirdest creatures ever found in Antarctica.
All right. Number 10.
Number 10. The Antarctic icefish. The Antarctic icefish is one of the strangest creatures not only in Antarctica, but anywhere on our planet. It has
Tell
no
me
red blood
why.
cells or hemoglobin,
Really?
which makes its blood practically translucent. Instead of being red, its blood is colorless, and the scaleless and pale fish is white in some areas and
Huh. I guess in Antarctica, yeah.
see-through in others. The icefish is the
Huh.
only vertebrate in the world.
You live in
with
ice, you're going to look
red
like
blood
ice.
cells. Instead, it has translucent blood and a white heart. At first, biologists thought that its blood had adapted to the freezing, oxygen-rich waters of Antarctica. Maybe they absorbed so much oxygen through their gills and super thin skin that they didn't need big red blood cells. However, it looks like the loss of hemoglobin wasn't a great adaptation, but instead a genetic accident. Icefish blood can only...
A genetic accident? Do you really believe in accidents in nature? Like, nature didn't know that fish was there, so it just adapted because of how it was built? I think that was planned. I think nature knows what it's doing. I don't think that was an accident.
transport 10% as much oxygen as other fish blood, so the icefish has changed its body dramatically in order to survive. Professor of Marine and Environmental Sciences H. William Dietrich says that icefish evolved about 77 million years ago and
See, I always wondered how the hell they figured this out, because we wasn't around no 77 million years. Like, science wasn't. Well, science might have been there. We got the aliens and all that stuff, so they probably brought, yeah. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that, on how they be determining the age. I know they got the whole archaeological this and that, what they watch, where they look at the bones and all that stuff like that, and they age the bones and the fossils and yada yada and more yada. But how accurate is that stuff really? Like, how do you know what was going on back there when some of that stuff y'all talking about wasn't no humans on? You know what I mean? Like, how you know this?
Moved into the cold regions of the Southern Ocean. As the fish adapted genes that protected it from being frozen to death, these same anti-freezing proteins somehow changed the fish's genetic structure. It
That natural antifreeze.
the high concentration of oxygen in the Antarctic waters instead of relying on silly, outdated red blood cells. These fish are helpful
a good cup
in
of
the state
coffee.
of anemia, as some of their genes relate to some human genes. Ice fish were also used as a model for investigating osteoporosis. While they may not
Really?
have hemoglobin, they are still extremely resilient fish. Number 9. Translucent mud blob. 10,000 feet beneath the ice, scientists in Antarctica made a shocking discovery.
She say translucent mud blob? Did they just like run out of names for fish? They just, oh, that's a mud blob right there. Looks like a blob of mud. It's probably not even color.
It was in the Southern Ocean on the research vessel the RV
Probably not even brown.
that an international team of researchers scanned the seabed using state-of-the-art technology to capture images of the abyssal plain, an area of the ocean about as deep as the Swiss Alps are high. It's an area without a lot of life, but scientists were keen to see what they could find anyway. So they used special equipment to trawl the bottom of the sea here. That means they basically took a net and dragged it along the sea floor at a depth of 10,000 feet. It took about 6 hours.
You know how cold it's got to be in Antarctic water at 10,000 feet? It's got to be cold as hell.
To complete the sweep, at which point the scientists got their reward. They had managed to scoop up 10 buckets of mud
Look at that
and a
glacier.
single fish. The fish was actually more of a blob. It was a mucky, gooey, translucent mud blob. It probably looked very different in its
It's all in the
environment
hands.
under so much pressure, but up on the surface, it was a mere shadow of its real self.
That really looked like a mud blob.
According to marine biologist Karine Schnabel with the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research in New Zealand, the creature is completely unknown. Nobody knows how many are hiding in the mud at such a depth, or how common the creature might be. Nobody has ever.
They're like that thing on Stephen King, Creepshow Part 2. The thing that was in the water, the blob that got them people that was on that little swimming platform. I think it was like the second story in Creepshow 2. I think it was actually called The Blob. Or something like that. Dude thought he got away. That way he got him on land too.
Seen anything like it before. As far as the experts can tell, the creature might be some kind of sea cucumber, but it's just impossible to say without more specimens and investigations. Number 8.
Y'all better stop putting that in your
Antarctic
bare
hellfish.
hand.
A horrifying new species of fish may have just been found in Antarctica by scientists who were attempting to explore the depths of the frozen continent. Expedition Antarctica was a mission to find the weirdest marine life on the planet, and it was 100% successful. Scientist Andrew Stewart was in charge of the mission, and with his help they found a whole heap of weird creatures.
Check out that crab right there. You might be from Antarctica, but you looking delicious, crab. Come here, crab.
Living in the icy waters. One of the fish discovered was unlike anything scientists had seen before, looking like some kind of small fish from hell. It was pink, gooey, and very slimy with enormous eyes and a little tongue sticking out.
That looked like a goby, a freshwater goby. We got gobies in the lake up in Lake Erie, up north. They got gobies up there in the water. They look just like that, but green.
Stewart says that's why I came to Antarctica, to see things like this. At first, nobody could figure out what this Antarctic fish was. After a bit of research, they deemed it to be a type of snailfish, a creature that looks a lot like a tadpole.
They don't really know what the hell that thing is.
That only lives in the coldest parts of the Arctic and Antarctic oceans. They live about 2,100 feet beneath the surface. There are also about 400 different types of them with an unknown.
Tell me that look like a snail. That does not look like no damn snail.
Number still unidentified. As a side note, snailfish have been spotted deep inside the cavernous Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean as well, in the darkest and coldest waters. As for the creepy hellfish found by Andrew Stewart, it hasn't been confirmed as a new species yet, but it just might be soon. Would you go on an expedition to Antarctica and brave the cold?
Nope.
How about a cruise?
Nope.
Let me know in the comments below.
Too damn
Number
cold.
7. Antarctic octopus. The Antarctic octopus is another animal with strange blood. It seems there might be many things that live in the frigid waters of Antarctica that have some kind of genetic mutation involving their blood.
I would assume so, because it's cold as all hell down there. Just being on land is cold. Now you wet, you frigid. Just cold enough to change your blood, I would imagine.
Level of cold will do things to a living creature. The ice fish may have a white heart, but the Antarctic octopus has blue blood. According to Life Science, the octopus is able to survive in the freezing temperatures because it has a special blue pigment in its blood. The temperatures surrounding Antarctica are somewhere between 28.8 and 35.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It's very hard to transport oxygen through the body in these temperatures. In order to
Yeah,
cope,
you ain't lying.
the weird Antarctic octopus uses hemocyanin, a special protein that makes its blood turn blue and keeps its body from freezing. But this little octopus isn't restricted to cold waters. Even when the temperature rises to a warm 50 degrees Fahrenheit, the Antarctic octopus still thrives. Because of its special blood, it has access to far more oxygen than other animals, suggesting it has a better chance of surviving global warming than most of the other fish found in Antarctica. Additionally,
Octopus are becoming like the ultimate survivors. They can change shape. They can squeeze in and out of small places. They can change color. They look like they can change texture. They change their blood. They can change their appetite. They're smart. They can figure out like puzzles and stuff because they can open up crab shells. I mean, they do that all their life, but I'm saying they can do other stuff than just crab shells. If you mess with them, they will bite you. They do have a tooth that they can bite you on, and I heard it does hurt. I heard it do some damage. Same thing with squid. Did I mention they're intelligent?
this tiny octopus, like many others, is venomous.
I have a new respect
It
for
has
octopus.
special venom that works even in the freezing temperature.
Speaking of octopuses, that's why I like Doc Ock. I think I like Doc Ock the best out of all the Spider-Man villains. I'd have to say Dr. Octopus would be the best.
Allowing it to hunt and poison creatures no matter how cold it gets. The venom is so unique that there have been recent expeditions to Antarctica just to capture and study more of these octopuses, in the hope of learning more about their special
Octopi.
venom and how it can treat medical conditions in the human world. Number 6. The scale worm. The Antarctic scale worm is the most
Heard of
nightmarish
this
thing
one.
living anywhere on the southernmost continent. It's horrible, it stinks, it's ugly, and it has a golden mullet that seems completely out of place. Poor guy. The scale worm can be found at depths of
You imagine catching that on the end of your hook? I'm cutting that line.
about 1,500 feet. But unlike your garden variety worm, this one is absolutely huge. The massive species can grow to be almost 8 inches long and 4 inches wide. And it has a head that looks like an alien monster, with its body looking as though it's made from human teeth. The scale worm belongs to the family Polynoidae, and these make up a lot of different marine worms. Scientists don't know too much about the scale worm, but they do know that what appears to be its head is actually a proboscis, or what you might call a
The hell's a proboscis?
tubular sucking mouthpiece, like what mosquitoes have. In other words, it's a really ugly straw with sharp teeth that can slurp up prey.
Oh, so it's like a what's some things that be hanging on sharks? No, not anemone. And the long snake things that be hanging on sharks. You always see them on the shark bellies and stuff.
The scale worm can turn its proboscis completely inside out and fold it inside its body. Then, when the worm is ready to eat, it unfurls it, rips apart some unsuspecting critter, and slurps up its remains. According to Australian Geographic, these worms are voracious hunters. Number 5. The comb jelly. The comb jelly is definitely one of the
kinda
weirder
cool.
jellyfish that lives in the ocean. It's shaped like an oval.
He's got
has
pulsating
eight
lights.
plates that almost look like combs, and it's strikingly beautiful. It uses its little combs to propel itself through the water like little feet, As it moves, light is diffracted or broken up through its little body to create the effect of a shimmering rainbow. What we have here is a rainbow
Yeah, that's pretty
jellyfish
badass.
that looks like a head scratcher and is often spotted floating through Antarctic waters. Other than the comb jelly's unique shape and its ability to sparkle like a rainbow, it can also expand its stomach to hold prey at least half its own size. This means the comb jelly can eat as much as it feels like.
And snatch up
The
some
comb jelly
fish.
is just like other jellies in most other ways. It has a few specialized organs, such as the one that allows it to detect chemical traces in the water to better hunt down prey. It also has a special structure.
This dude look like a spaceship and a half. It's like the mothership. I got Parliament in my head now. Some of y'all don't know who Parliament is, but you know the mothership when you hear it.
Called a statocyst, which is sensitive to gravity. It's what allows the jellyfish to keep its orientation while in the water. This is how most jellyfish know where to go and how to get around, considering they don't exactly have eyes to see up and down. The most terrifying fact about the comb jelly is that it's kind of a cannibal. It has been known to attack other comb jellies and slowly eat them alive by biting off small chunks with the special structures inside its mouth, basically nibbling its own kin to death. They are delicate
Damn, that's
and
crazy.
aggressive, all at the same time. For the first time ever, scientists at the Monterey Bay Aquarium have been able to actually raise a spotted comb jelly. Not quite the same as the one in Antarctica.
Hold the phone. Did I just see that right? Where is that at? Hold on. Look at this building.
Inside its mouth, basically nibbling its. First time ever, scientists at the
Monterey Bay Aquarium. You see this? The Monterey Bay Aquarium. Down here, Portola sardines. I don't know about y'all, but I'd be a little suspicious of them sardines being sold from an aquarium. Something about that just ain't sitting right with me.
Bay Aquarium
I digress.
actually raise a spotted comb jelly. Not quite the same as the one in Antarctica, but pretty similar.
Probably was the sardines.
In captivity only live for about a day. So successfully being
Oh,
able
really?
to culture a species opens the door to sharing more critters and information with other aquariums around the world. Number 4. Hibernating
Number 4.
monster. Scientists at Harvard University have discovered evidence that there was once an animal that lived in Antarctica
Okay.
250 million years ago during the early Triassic and had one of the best winter survival strategies in the world of animals. The creature was a distant relative of the modern mammal. It was a type of Lystrosaurus, and it had a beak
What the hell's a Lystrosaurus?
like a turtle and tusks like a warthog. At the time it lived, Antarctica was part of Pangaea, but was still part of the Antarctic.
Oh, wow. They went all the way back to Pangaea? Damn. That's a long ass time ago. Pangaea is back when all the continents used to be one continent. It used to be one landmass before they all broke up and we became the United States. And then there was Africa, and then you got the islands, and then you got the other Americas and Canada, and yeah.
It had very long periods without sunlight every winter. The animals that lived on the continent had to deal with going into total darkness for months at a time, so some of them found a way to hibernate. Fossils of a Lystrosaurus found in Antarctica have revealed that it may have been the first mammal-like creature to ever practice hibernation. Researchers looked at a fragmented piece of the animal's tusk. Inside the
Sounds
tusk,
right.
researchers found rings, just like how there are rings inside of a tree known as growth rings. But looking beyond the rings, researchers found indications that each year they fell into a hibernation-like state, probably conserving their energy and waiting out the brutal winter. This was revealed by stress markings, which researchers compared to the stress markings on the teeth of modern animals, which they developed around hibernation time. Scientists can't conclusively say whether this prehistoric beast really did snooze through the winter, but it probably did because it was one of the few creatures to survive the Permian period, which
You kind of need to when it's that cold out. I don't know about you, but cold weather be putting me to sleep. I'd be like, yo. And you find that nice cozy cuddle spot. Especially if it's next to your woman, you be out. You be asleep. Put the Sunday football game on. Man.
Wiped out 70% of vertebrate species on land. It went on to live another 5 million years and spread across Pangaea. And now for a really scary beast, but first wanted to give a big shout out to Epic Cat Sneeze and Billy Butcher. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with us. If you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave. Number 3.
Go help them out. Some
There's a
HBO.
creature potentially living in Antarctica that you won't believe. It's a humanoid monster known as a ningen, and apparently there are a few of
A
them
ningen.
in the icy waters of Antarctica. The ningen is white in color, and some claim it's a species of ape that developed the ability to breathe underwater. Ningens have been spotted with mermaid-like tails and hind legs that allow them to scuttle across dry land. If you've never
How do they figure it looks like that thing
heard of this animal, you're not alone. It's
without
not as
showing
famous
us?
as the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot, but rumors of ningens have existed in Japan for years, going back to Japanese fishing vessels that spotted the creatures around the waters of Antarctica. It's believed the Japanese have actually documented the existence of ningens, though they weren't really brought to public attention until 2007, when they were discussed in a local paranormal magazine. They've been called Antarctic humans, and they've even been captured in pictures thanks
What
to
if it's walking
maps.
across just like that?
Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, not all the pictures taken of the ningen are credible. For that matter, sightings are few and far between, with people describing the creature as being a human
Well, I doubt this one right here is real.
long with the skin of a whale. That's obviously too large of a creature to be stomping around on the ice, and it's hard to imagine scientists not discovering a creature bigger than a blue whale swimming around. Number 2. Mysterious ice creatures. A team of polar scientists with the British Antarctic Survey found a rock on the seafloor.
This is like the scene from AVP, Alien vs. Predator, when they was up in the winter. What was it? I don't think they was in Antarctica. I think they were in the Arctic Circle or something like that. Yeah.
Are teeming with strange
Coast Guard
almost
action.
extraterrestrial life. The team attached a camera to the end of a long instrument and lowered it into a drill hole. The only way they could reach the ocean floor was to drill the hole through the ice shelf. They lowered the camera all the way through to the bottom and were shocked to discover several previously unknown species. Not only that, but each new species was attached to the same large boulder. They were animals like sea sponges living in total darkness in sub-zero temperatures. Almost no animals have ever been witnessed
Cold as
in
hell.
stable conditions. This may not seem super exciting. After all, we're not dealing with new sharks or something visually striking. But this is interesting for scientists because it proves life forms can live pretty much anywhere. These creatures should realistically be frozen and dead, and yet they've attached themselves to rocks and filter feed from other almost microscopic critters moving through the water column. Researchers don't know exactly what the animals are yet, but they are working to find out. Number 1.
I bet they are.
Someone has discovered the remains of what may be a dinosaur in Antarctica. The discovery was made using Google Maps. A person who has not been identified noticed the obvious skeleton of a creature.
What are you doing when you have that much time to find something like this minuscule in this entire planet on Google Maps? That's crazy. I wonder if they plant stuff on Google Maps for you to find. Yeah, I would. Excuse me.
Lying in the middle of a valley, surrounded by snow-capped mountains. Initial estimates put the animal at being anywhere between 12 and 20 feet. Looking closely, the animal seems to have front and rear legs, a kind of
I'd say so.
body, and the general structure of a dinosaur, a prehistoric reptile. We know dinosaurs used to live on the continent millions of years ago, but how such a fresh corpse could have appeared doesn't make much sense. The only dinosaurs ever found in Antarctica were already fossils. What
Jurassic Park, baby.
The dead body of a seal that got stuck inland because of moving ice, then gradually became a skeleton.
That's what you said.
No way of knowing what the creature could be, though we can say with a pretty high degree of certainty that it's real. There are also rumors that as the ice melts from Antarctica, more and more secrets of the ancient world will be revealed, and maybe this strange creature is one of them. Thanks for watching.
Oh, it's definitely
What's
one of
your
them.
favorite animal from Antarctica? Let me know in the
That's a pretty decent video. I ain't mad at it. Nice little chill vid. All right, y'all. Run them likes up. Hit me. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk today. Hit me up with a little bit of HBO. It's all the buzz. A little bit of HBO. Help a brother out. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Go and follow Origins Explained. Give them a sub. Help people out. Help a brother out. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Deuces.